Hello. Adolescence is the second major window of opportunity and risk in development in life, next only in importance to early childhood development. As a parent, you must know what to expect and how to guide your child through the changes that adolescence brings. Some of the basic knowledge include, for example, why is adolescence the period of change? Because quick hormonal changes take place? No, that's only a small part of the story. Adolescence is a phase of huge biological, cognitive, and social changes whose real depth is yet to be fully understood. Substantial alterations occur in neurological structure and function as levels of all neurotransmitters transform all through adolescence. These changes can lead to increased irritability and risk-taking behavior. Important changes happen in prefrontal cortex function, backing growing capacity for abstract thinking and complex problem solving. Metacognitive and representational capacity grows throughout adolescence, supporting a more discerning interpretation of the world. In early adolescence, the capacity to differentiate surpasses the ability to assimilate varied information. This can make adolescents see the world in black and white terms. The cognitive changes bring about a form of adolescent egocentrism in which the child is occupied by the sense that they are the center of everyone's attention and that their experiences are totally unique. Adolescents move into a new social, emotional chapter of life. Usually time is spent with parents and family decreases and time is spent with peers increases with growing reliance on peers. Dating and love relationships begin in early adolescence, though without genuine intimacy and deep emotional involvement. So you have to know what is the role of parents in adolescence. Look, parental compassion and support are essential in scaffolding adolescents to the next level of functioning. Even though peer influence dominates this period, there is growing evidence that parents also make a big difference based on the nature of their attachment bond with their child. The quality and strength of the adolescent-parent attachment bond is vital to now how both parties negotiate this transaction, this period of transition. Parent-adolescent bond is important. The fundamental bond between parent and infant has been shown to impact virtually every aspect of early childhood development. The nature and quality of this early bonding can both improve or deteriorate during adolescence. Adolescence entails a need for balance and preserving connection with parents while discovering and enjoying new social roles and developing bonding relationships away from the family. A good bonding with parents exercises exactly the same positive effect on a successful transition of adolescence as it does in early childhood development. The bonding role of parents changes in some ways but remains stable in others. For example, while young children need close proximity and physical accessibility of parents, adolescents don't require the same level of proximity and can draw reassurance from knowing their parents are there to help even when they are not present. Also, conflicts can naturally arise as parents apply suitable levels of behavioral control over their adolescents. A good bonding ensures that parents and their adolescent children can disagree on critical issues and negotiate conflicts without impairing their relationship. Here are a few things that you should know as a parent. That's not true. Adolescence is not invariably a difficult time. Only 5 to 15% of adolescents experience major struggle. Then get basic information on the profound neurocognitive, social, and emotional changes that occur during adolescence. Know what changes to expect in the relationship with your child and don't view their reduced dependence on you as your diminished importance to your child. And also remember that conflicts are an opportunity to build your lifelong relationship with your adolescent child. Here are some of the main social changes that occur in adolescence that you should know. 8 of them. Number 1, identity development. For most people, and the search of identity begins in the adolescent years. Adolescents are preoccupied with working out who they are and where they fit in the world. This involves a normative process of change in both substance and the structure of one's thoughts about the self. Number 2, cognitive development. Whereas as children they define themselves by physical traits, adolescents define themselves based on abstract cognition like their values, thoughts, and opinions. Number 3, quest for independence. Your child might want to spend less time with family and more time with friends and peers, and that's okay. Number 4, desire for new experiences. Be watchful because they are still developing control over their instincts and are likely to look for new experiences and involve in more risk-taking behavior. Number 5, development of moral compass. It's the time they learn they are responsible for their own actions, decisions, and consequences. Your actions and also your words heavily influence your child's idea of right and wrong. Number 6, peer influence. Be ready for your child to be influenced more by friends, especially when it comes to behavior, self-image, and self-esteem. Peers can serve both positive and negative functions during adolescence. Number 7, sexual identity. Your child will start to develop and explore a sexual identity and will develop an interest in romantic relationships. You ought to know that. Number 8, social media, the internet and mobile phones will hugely influence how your child communicates with and learns about the world. You can't escape it. Now here are the 8 main things you should know about the emotional changes that occur in adolescence. Number 1, neurochemical changes. Alterations in the levels of certain neurotransmitters typically make adolescents more emotional and more sensitive to stress. Number 2, strong emotions. Moods can seem unpredictable and emotional variations can cause increased conflict. Your child's brain is still learning how to master and express emotions in a grown-up way. Number 3, sensitivity. Children get better at interpreting and processing other people's emotions as they get older. Number 4, your child will become more self-conscious, especially about physical appearance and changes. Number 5, adolescents can pass through a stage of thinking and acting as if nothing bad could happen to them. Number 6, your child might have more arguments with you. That's not because your child wants to upset you, it's because your child is learning to think more conceptually and to question different points of view. Number 7, peer influence. Friends are more likely to dictate short-term emotional choices such as regarding appearance and interest. Make sure you retain more influence on your adolescents' long-term decisions such as career choices, values, and morals. Number 8, adolescents invest a great deal of themselves in romantic relationships with an impact on their positive and negative emotions. Now let's discuss the key areas for social and emotional support. Here are the 7 areas where you can support your child's social and emotional development through their adolescence. 1, self-confidence. Be generous with praise and encouragement for the things your child does right. Never shame, ridicule, or belittle your child. Provide constructive criticism instead. Don't make decisions for your child. Instead, teach them making sound decisions. Help your child focus on and make use of their strengths. Don't be overprotective. Allow your child to make mistakes and learn from them. Number 2, again, very important, peer influence. Maintain a close relationship and an open communication with your child for them to feel comfortable to seek your advice. Help your child understand how peer influence works so they can know what to look out for and how to handle it. Emphasize important personal and family values. Build your child's skills and confidence. Children with a high self-esteem are less vulnerable to the influence of others. Don't stifle your child's assertiveness. Instead, encourage them to be assertive. Give your child space. Don't make them want to get away from you for their personal space. Deliver discipline. Your child must know the consequences to negative behavior. Number 3, substance abuse. Well, lead by example. Teach your child why it's good for them to firmly say no to use of harmful substance. Teach them to be proactive in avoiding situations where others drink or do drugs and in choosing friends who don't do drugs. Know who your child's friends are and who they are hanging out with at any time. Encourage your child to pursue healthy extracurricular activities, not anything. Number 4, sex. Sex is a reality of life that you can't ignore. You can't wish it away. Open communication about sex allows you to provide them with correct information. Plus, your child needs to understand the possible implications of being sexually active, including pregnancy and sexually transmitted diseases. So here are some of the topics that you may want to address in a fact-based manner. Clarification of anatomy and reproduction in males and females, pregnancy and birth control, masturbation, sexually transmitted diseases, self-esteem and peer pressure, rape and incestuous relations, not trusting strangers, how choice of clothing and the way you present yourself sends notions to others about your interest in sexual behavior. Number 5, tattoos and piercing. I put that here because it may be too early to make these choices. Here is how you can discuss this with your child. Don't wait until the moment you have to preach to talk to your child about things like tattoos and piercing or other fads. Proact. Describe the likely risks of tattoos and piercings, such as infection or allergic reactions, especially when done under non-sterile conditions. Explain to them how piercings or tattoos might affect their future career or relationship. Explain that a tattoo is almost permanent and how your child's taste may change in future. Number 6, mood swings and suicide. Adolescents, they are at an increased risk of poor mental health, antisocial conduct, and risk-taking behavior. Underlying causes for these triggers comprise many factors such as genetics and early childhood experiences that precede adolescence, but puberty may push susceptible children into despair. Be careful to note if your child displays a striking change in their thinking and behavior, loses their motivation, turns rebellious, starts talking too much about death or dying or morbid subjects, or becomes aloof from friends or generally withdrawn. Don't hesitate to seek help if needed. Number 7, children with special needs. The speed of social and emotional development varies widely, both for normally developing children and children with disability. Children who have to often miss school because of illness or who have a noticeable physical disability might find it challenging to make and retain friendships. You may have to find ways for your child to make friends, such as joining community networks and online groups. Offer your child lots of love and support at home. Especially, don't neglect them in comparison with their siblings. Uplift their confidence and self-esteem by concentrating on your child's strengths and interests. Here is how you can act to support your adolescent's social and emotional development, how you can provide the required support. Number 1, be a role model. Be a role model for positive ways of handling your own relationships and your difficult emotions and moods. Number 2, knowing your child's friends is your business. Know them and make them welcome in your home. That's how your child spends more time in front of you. And if you feel apprehensive about your child's choice of friends, provide gentle but consistent guidance. Number 3, pay attention to your child's feelings. When you interact with your child, especially if they want to talk to you, stop and give your child your undivided attention. Show respect for your child's views and try to understand their feelings even if they think and feel differently from you. Number 4, share your feelings. Be open about your feelings and let your child know how you feel when they behave in different ways, especially when you are happy. But remember, your child is not your friend. You can be your child's friend, but your child is not your friend. Don't burden them with your problems, emotional baggage, or anything beyond their ears. Number 5, talk with your child about relationships and sexuality. It's better to find ways to cover these subjects in advance instead of having a big talk in the face of a compelling situation or a crisis. Look for teachable moments and excuses to easily bring up these subjects. Correct any misinformation and give the real facts. Let your child know you are available to talk about questions or concerns. And last but not the least, emphasize the positive facets of your child's social and emotional development. Hope you found it useful. Look, parenting adolescents has an important role in the scheme of life, and we'll talk more about it in future. Meanwhile, kindly feel free to share your suggestions or questions in the comment section below, and promise, you won't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Take care till the next time. Thank you.